Welcome to Coins Hunter USA, the ultimate destination for rare and valuable US coins. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might look ordinary but could be worth a lot more than you think. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, make sure to watch till the end. You won't want to miss what makes this coin so special. Top 1. Today we're talking about the 1994 United States Washington quarter, a coin that may look ordinary, but has shocked collectors with its hidden value and rare errors. This one is definitely worth your full attention, so listen closely, and you might discover you're holding on to something truly special. Let's begin with a little background. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, originally designed to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. But not all quarters are created equal, and the 1994 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how small minting variations and historical context can transform a simple 25-cent coin into a valuable collector's item. The 1994 quarter was minted at a time when production methods were highly mechanized, but errors still slipped through. These mistakes, though rare, are what make some coins extraordinarily valuable today. While most people spent these quarters without a second thought, collectors know that the key lies in the details, and it's those rare details that we're diving into today. Now let's talk about what makes the 1994 Washington quarter so interesting to collectors. First and foremost, mint errors. These are unintentional mistakes made during the coin's production, and some of the known errors on the 1994 quarter include off-center strikes, double die obverse, and clipped planchets. Imagine a quarter where Washington's profile is slightly doubled, or the text appears shadowed. That's not just a flaw, that's a jackpot for collectors. Even more fascinating is the condition of the coin. A 1994 quarter that has been circulated for decades is usually scratched, dull, and worn down. But if you have one that has been carefully preserved, uncirculated, with no visible damage or signs of wear, then you've got something truly rare. These high-grade examples are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and the better the condition, the higher the value. Collectors are also interested in the mint mark. The 1994 Washington quarter was struck in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. While the S mint coins were intended for proof sets, sometimes these proof coins end up in circulation, and when they do, their value skyrockets. Especially when a proof coin shows an error, or remains in pristine, untouched condition. But why does this coin command so much attention in the market? Simple: rarity and demand. Most 1994 quarters are worth only face value, but those with rare errors or perfect preservation are almost impossible to find. Serious collectors are always hunting for these high-grade examples, and when one pops up, the bidding can get intense. And now, the moment every collector and coin lover has been waiting for. If you happen to have a 1994 Washington quarter that is uncirculated, graded highly, or shows a rare minting error, it could be worth an incredible $79,000. Yes, you heard it right. $79,000 for a coin that originally cost just 25 cents. So, if you've got a collection at home, or even just a handful of old change, it's time to take a second look. Check for crisp details, unusual markings, or any signs of errors. That little coin could be your ticket to an unexpected treasure. Top 2. We're talking about a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about, but some versions of it are worth a jaw-dropping amount. Yes, today we're exploring the fascinating story of the 1991 United States Washington quarter, and why some of these seemingly common coins are worth far more than you'd ever expect. So sit back, relax, and listen closely, because this is a coin that every collector and coin lover should know about. Let's begin with a little bit of context. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Over the decades, the design has remained largely unchanged, showing Washington's profile on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse, at least until the 50-state quarters program began in 1999. But even before that, in years like 1991, there were coins produced that have become exceptionally valuable, not because of their design, but because of how rare certain versions of them are today. Now, let's get into the specifics of the 1991 Washington quarter. In that year, the United States Mint struck millions of quarters at different locations, including Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, with a D mint mark, and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. The vast majority of these coins were made for regular circulation. They were used in everyday transactions, vending machines, lunch counters, parking meters, and so on. But a small number of them? Well, they were different. Some coins that left the mint in 1991 contained rare errors that went unnoticed by the general public at the time, but now, they've become incredibly valuable in the eyes of collectors. These errors are what we call minting mistakes, and they can happen in a variety of ways. One common but valuable error is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin's image is struck twice but slightly offset, causing a shadow-like duplication of letters or features. When this occurs on Washington's face, motto, or date, the value increases dramatically. Another type is the off-center strike, where the coin is not aligned properly during minting, and part of the design is missing or shifted. These are visually striking and highly desirable to collectors. There are also clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is cut off because of a mistake in the metal cutting process, and don't forget the rare but valuable broadstruck errors, where the coin spreads beyond its normal boundaries due to missing collar dies during striking. Each of these error types increases the coin's uniqueness, and as every collector knows, rarity plus condition equals value. Now let's talk about condition, which plays a massive role in determining how much your 1991 quarter could be worth. Most people's quarters are circulated, meaning they've been used in everyday life and show wear, scratches, and discoloration. But uncirculated coins, those that were never used and kept in pristine condition, can be worth much more. These coins are often graded by professional services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, and their value skyrockets if they receive a high grade like MS66, MS67, or higher. If your 1991 quarter has been well preserved, shows no signs of wear, and especially if it has a rare minting error, then it could be something very special. And let's not forget the proof coins that were minted in San Francisco. These coins, which bear an S mint mark, were never meant for circulation. They were specially made for collectors and usually feature mirror-like finishes and sharp details. If you find a 1991 S-proof quarter that somehow made it into circulation, or one with an unusual error, you could be looking at a significant payday. Collectors are drawn to coins like these because they are not just currency, they're pieces of art, history, and rarity. They carry the thrill of the unknown and the excitement of possibility. And for those who know what to look for, the rewards can be astonishing. So now, after going through all the details, history, rarity, and errors, it's time for the moment you've been waiting for. If you have a 1991 Washington quarter that is in uncirculated condition, or even more valuable, one that features a rare minting error, it could be worth an amazing $82,000. Yes, you heard me right. $82,000, all for a simple quarter that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your old coin collections, your family's drawers, or that old jar full of loose change. You might just discover a coin that turns out to be worth a small fortune. Top 3. We're diving deep into a coin that looks completely ordinary, but could actually be worth a small fortune. Yes, today we're talking about the 1990 United States Washington quarter, a 25-cent coin that most people don't think twice about. But if you know what to look for, this little coin could be hiding serious value. So listen carefully, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why some versions of this coin are turning heads in the collector world. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been part of U.S. currency since 1932. It was introduced to honor the 200th birthday of President George Washington, and ever since then, it's been one of the most commonly used coins in the country. But here's the secret: not all quarters are created equal. Especially the ones minted in certain years, like 1990-IN 1990, quarters were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. While millions were produced that year, a tiny percentage left the U.S. Mint with rare mistakes that collectors are now willing to pay top dollar for. These aren't ordinary coins, these are error coins, and that's where things get exciting. So what kinds of errors are we talking about? First, there's the double die obverse, where the image on the front, George Washington's face, the lettering, or the word Liberty, appears doubled. This happens during the minting process when the die strikes the coin more than once, slightly off position. These coins are rare and valuable. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design is not printed in the center of the coin. Some are just slightly off, but the ones that are significantly misaligned, with large blank areas, can fetch serious cash. There are also clipped planchets, which means part of the coin is missing, like a bite has been taken out of it. These are caused by the blank coin not being cut properly before being struck. And collectors love them because each one is unique. Another rare type: broad-struck coins. These are coins that were struck outside their proper boundaries, resulting in an oversized or distorted appearance. It happens when the coin isn't held correctly in the press, and the result is a strange-looking quarter that's highly collectible. Now, let's talk condition, because that matters just as much as the error. If your 1990 Washington quarter is uncirculated, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions and still looks crisp, shiny, and flawless, its value increases dramatically. And if it's been graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC and received a high score like MS66, MS67, or higher, then you're sitting on something really special. And don't forget the proof coins. These were minted in San Francisco with an S mint mark and were made for collectors. They have sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. If you find a 1990 proof quarter, especially one with a mint error, and it's still in mint condition, that coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. So what makes this coin so interesting for collectors? It's the perfect mix of age, history, errors, condition, and rarity. Most quarters from 1990 are only worth 25 cents. But when you combine a rare mint error with an uncirculated or proof condition, the value jumps off the charts. It's like finding a hidden gem among a pile of stones, a moment every coin collector dreams of. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you have a 1990 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, or one that features a rare minting error, like a double die, off-center strike, clipped planchet, or broad strike, its value could reach as high as $88,000. Yes, you heard that right. $88,000 for a single quarter. A coin you could have found in your change, at a garage sale, or tucked away in an old drawer. So now the question is, have you checked your coins? Go look. Go dig through your change jar, your childhood collection, or your grandparents' stash. Who knows, maybe you've been sitting on a treasure all along. Top 4, we're talking about the 1988 United States Washington quarter, and yes, you'll want to listen closely, because this small piece of metal might just change the way you look at loose change forever. Let's begin by setting the scene. The year is 1988, no state quarters yet, no commemoratives, just the classic Washington design that's been on the 25-cent coin since 1932. Millions of these coins were struck and sent into circulation. They were used in vending machines, handed over at gas stations, lost in couches, and almost all of them were forgotten. But here's the twist, not all 1988 quarters are the same. Some of them, due to incredibly rare minting mistakes or special conditions, are now worth thousands of times more than their face value. So what makes some of these quarters so valuable? It all starts with minting errors. These are unintentional mistakes that happen during the production of the coin, and collectors go absolutely crazy for them. Let's explore a few of the known errors that can make a 1988 Washington quarter a high-value collectible. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse. This means that during the minting process, the die strikes the coin more than once, creating a visible doubling in parts of the design, like the date, the lettering, or even George Washington's profile. These errors can often be seen with the naked eye, and when spotted, they instantly turn a regular quarter into a collector's dream. Then there's the off-center strike. In this error, the coin's image isn't properly aligned with the blank metal disc, meaning the design is noticeably shifted, and part of the coin may even appear blank. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Another rare but dramatic error is the clipped planchet, where a part of the coin looks like it has a bite taken out of it. This happens when the metal sheet from which the coins are cut is misaligned. These errors are easy to spot, but extremely hard to find. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin appears stretched or wider than normal. This happens when the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally shapes it. The result? A quarter that looks strange, and is worth a lot. And if a 1988 quarter has multiple errors, like a double die and an off-center strike, that's when things really get interesting for collectors, because such a coin could be truly one of a kind. Now, let's talk about something just as important as the error: condition. A 1988 quarter that has been through years of circulation, covered in scratches and dull from wear, might not be worth much more than 25 cents. But if you have a coin that's been uncirculated, meaning it has never been used, never touched bare hands, and still has its original shine, then it becomes a whole different story. Coins in mint state condition, especially those that have been professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC, are valued based on their grade. The higher the grade, MS 65, MS 66, MS 67 and beyond, the more desirable and expensive the coin becomes. And then, there are the proof coins, specially made for collectors by the San Francisco Mint, often with mirror-like finishes and incredible detail. These weren't meant for circulation, but if one slipped through and ended up in someone's change, or if it has an error, its value could skyrocket. So why do collectors care so much? Because coins like this are time capsules. They're mistakes frozen in metal. They're pieces of history that weren't supposed to exist the way they do. And when you hold one, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a story, a rare event, a hidden treasure that very few people will ever find. And now, for the part that everyone waits for. If you are lucky enough to have a 1988 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, or one that features a rare minting error, like a double die, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, your coin could be worth a staggering $93,000. That's right, $93,000 US dollars for a single quarter. So go check your collection. Look in your old drawers. Search through your coin jars. You never know when a small, forgotten quarter could turn out to be one of the rarest finds of your life. Top 5, we're diving into the story of a coin that's often overlooked, yet secretly holds the potential to be worth a life-changing amount. Yes, we're talking about the 1986 United States Washington quarter, and if you stick with us until the end, you'll find out why some of these coins are valued in the tens of thousands of dollars. Now, at first glance, the 1986 Washington quarter might not look like anything special. It has the classic image of George Washington on the obverse, and the familiar eagle design on the reverse, the same design we've seen for decades since the coin was introduced in 1932. But what most people don't know is that certain 1,986 quarters, due to a mix of rarity, condition, and minting errors, have become incredibly sought after by collectors all around the world. Let's start with where these coins were minted. In 1986, Washington quarters were produced at two major U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia do not have a mint mark, while Denver quarters are marked with a small d. While millions were made at both locations, what makes some of them stand out isn't where they were made, but how they were made. This brings us to one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting: mint errors. These are unexpected mistakes that occur during the coin production process, and when they do, they turn an everyday coin into a rare and highly valuable collectible. Let's talk about some of the known and valuable errors found in 1986 quarters. First up is the double die obverse, one of the most famous and beloved errors among collectors. This happens when the coin is struck twice, slightly off-aligned, causing features like the date, the word Liberty, or even parts of Washington's face to appear doubled. It's easy to miss unless you know what to look for, but once spotted, the value skyrockets. Another amazing error is the off-center strike, where the coin is not aligned correctly during minting, leading to part of the design being cut off or missing. Some off-center strikes are only minor, but the most valuable ones are dramatically off-center, making them visually unique and incredibly rare. There's also the clipped planchet error, where part of the coin's metal is missing due to a cutting error in the blanking process. These clipped coins look like they've had a chunk bitten out of them, and collectors go wild for them. Other rare minting mistakes include broad-struck coins, which occur when the coin isn't properly held in place during striking, causing it to expand beyond its usual size. These errors are eye-catching and always command attention in the collector market, but having an error isn't enough on its own. The condition of the coin is just as important. A coin that's been through decades of handling, pocket wear, and scratching may still be interesting, but its value is limited. On the other hand, a coin in uncirculated condition, especially one that has been graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC and given a high grade like MS65 or above, becomes a rare gem. Coins that are still shiny, detailed, and free from wear, these are the ones collectors fight for. Combine that level of preservation with a dramatic error, and suddenly you've got a coin that's more than just collectible, it's valuable. Now, let's not forget about proof coins. While 1986 wasn't a major year for proof quarter surprises, sometimes these highly detailed, mirror-finished coins slip into circulation or feature striking mistakes. If you happen to find a 1986 quarter with proof-like features or an error on a proof coin, it could add even more value. For collectors, coins like the 1986 Washington quarter are thrilling because they represent a perfect storm, a familiar coin, with rare features, preserved through time. It's history in your hands, and the possibility that something so ordinary could actually be something extraordinary is what makes coin collecting so exciting. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you are lucky enough to have a 1986 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, or one that features a rare and dramatic mint error, its value could reach as high as $98,000. Yes, you heard that right, $98,000 US. That's what some of these special 1986 quarters have been known to sell for at major auctions and collector markets. So don't take any coin for granted. Check your change, explore your old coin collections, and keep your eyes open. That 25-cent piece you've ignored for years could be the key to an incredible discovery. If you enjoyed today's video and want to uncover more rare coins that could be worth thousands, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Coins Hunter USA, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn your spare change into real treasure. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.